Hi, this is Marcey Rader, your productivity lead at RaderCo. I'm the principal contributor to the Health Powered Productivity podcast, where we give you bite-sized nuggets of knowledge in areas of productivity, health, and clutter that you can implement right away. Looking for ways to support our health powered productivity mission? We welcome donations to our tip jar, linked in the show notes. We encourage you to check out our RaderCo recommendations page on our site, where we list all of our favorite products, services, and apps. We get a little kickback and you get vetted tools that we use ourselves. Now, on with the show. Many solopreneurs, business owners, and small companies have a virtual assistant. But what about if you're a W-2 employee, an independent contractor, or you work for a large company? Yes, even you can have a virtual assistant, or what I like to call virtual professional. Company leadership may not like this podcast, but that would be closed-minded. I'm not saying for you to have an assistant that reads your email or has access to confidential documents, but what about assisting with these types of tasks? Creating or editing a presentation, image searches for that presentation, industry research, LinkedIn scouting, competitor research, graphic design, data entry, lead gen, formatting of spreadsheets, create and send appreciation cards, create forms or surveys, edit audio or video, or transcribe audio or video. As an independent contractor, you could take on a job for $75 an hour and pay someone in Kenya $8 an hour, which is a respectable wage, and give them a few tasks. It's not sleazy. You're hired for a result. It shouldn't matter how you get there as long as you aren't giving away trade secrets for that company. You're giving someone else a job, and the client is getting the work they're hiring you for. You're basically managing a project. I know a guy, call him Rick, who's been using someone from Colombia for 2 years to create all of his presentations up until the final edits. They edit all of the audio and video for content that he puts out for his clients, and they format spreadsheets. It costs him $10 an hour. He makes about $110,000 a year. It saves him about 3 hours a week. His time is worth more than $30, and he spends those extra 3 hours generating more client calls, which equals more money for the company, or he closes down early on Fridays. I'm also working with a company right now of about 23 people. I'm private coaching the CEO, and I have encouraged the CEO to hire some kind of assistant for the company leaders. He is somebody, he does not have an assistant, and he's very humble. He just doesn't feel like it feels a little too fancy for him to have an assistant. He's like, I don't know what I'd use them for. So I said, okay, let's reframe. Think about someone for your leadership or your salespeople. Ask them each to list 3 to 5 tasks that they don't like doing, or they feel are beneath their pay grade or not in their line of genius. And by the way, beneath pay grade doesn't mean you think you're too good to transcribe or format or do research. But just think about it. Do you want to be paying your director $70,000 or $170,000 a year to be doing those things? So take a list of all the tasks, find a common theme, and hire someone to take on the top 3 tasks among your leaders. And if you don't need someone regularly, use a platform like Fiverr or Upwork for one-off projects where you can hire them as needed. Now, I have a few older podcasts that talks about hiring virtual professional, but just to reiterate, my favorite platforms are for a virtual professional are Virtual Latinos and iWorker. And both of those links will be in the show notes. Virtual Latinos are from Spanish-speaking countries. They speak very good English, and their vetting process is really impressive. I think the last time I talked to the CEO, only 3% of people that applied to work for Virtual Latinos actually got chosen. And they have the best onboarding. If you have never worked offshore and hired someone offshore and you're not sure what to do with them, go with Virtual Latinos. They are incredible. If you use the affiliate link in the show notes, it will be, you will be affiliated with me. I will know about it, and I will follow up and make sure that everything is working as it should. I've used someone from Virtual Latinos, I think 3 times. I've had 3 different workers, and they were fabulous, each one of them. The other company that I promote is iWorker, and iWorker uses virtual professionals in politically disadvantaged countries. And so I've hired people from Kenya and Venezuela, and they were fabulous. I had someone work with me on my marketing who had a master's in marketing, and they figured out a way to pay these people in this sometimes politically corrupt countries, and figure out a way to make sure that they got the money that they were owed. So iWorker is also I just really, really believe in their mission of helping people who sometimes can't even leave their house because it's not safe to do so. And their link is also in the show notes, and you would also be affiliated with me. And I know the people doing that process, the matching process personally. If you are still unsure how to hire or onboard or work with a VA, especially if you are not a business owner, we do have an unwebinar. We call it our unwebinar. And it is, you can find that link in the show notes, but it's called Secrets to Hiring a Virtual Assistant, Busting the Myths to Hiring a Virtual Professional. And the reason why we call it an unwebinar is it's really kind of like an interview, and I'm interviewing people or the CEOs from iWorker and Virtual Latinos. And when you register for that, it's free to watch. You can go, you can download a hiring a VA handbook. It's called Work Well with a Virtual Assistant. And then you could go even further and book a coaching package or an intensive. And that's where I'll personally help you figure that out and even go through the hiring process. So unburden yourself. Work in your line of genius. You don't have to own a business to hire a virtual assistant. Thank you for listening to the RaderCo Health-Powered Productivity Podcast. Please subscribe, leave a review, and forward this episode to at least one person you know could benefit. And can I ask a favor? If you felt this podcast was valuable, please consider supporting it by donating to our tip jar to continue giving you bite-sized nuggets of knowledge. And get your sneak peek of my latest book, Work Well, Play More, Productive, Clutter-Free, Healthy Living, One Step at a Time, with the novice behaviors from chapter 1 that includes how to deal with all those rings, pings, and buzzes, how to declutter your digital desktop and why it's important, and how to play hide and seek with your food to help with portion control. It's waiting for you at helloraderco.com/gift.